Good afternoon, YouTube family. How y'all doing today? My name is Anthony, and this is Palmetto Prepared. And today I wanted to talk about something that I don't think gets a lot of attention, but it really needs to because it's very, very important. And that is having a get-home bag and what do you put in it. So essentially, what a get-home bag is, it differs from a bug-out bag because you're not trying to leave your home. Like, I have a bug-in strategy versus a bug-out strategy because I'm in the middle of the woods. I'm not in suburbia, but the chances are pretty, good, unfortunately, that if something does happen, I might not be home. Whether it be, I'm at work, happen to be with the wife out to eat, shopping, something happens that I won't be home during a situation. I need to get home. So this is where the Get Home Bag, the GHB, gets all the recognition, or should be getting some recognition, because this is a very, very important bag to have. Now, I put mine in a military day pack. Now, I know you're saying, wow, it's not very gray man of you to have it in this pack, but most of the area around my house is woods, and I plan on using the woods, so I'm not really too worried about going gray man while I'm in the woods. But if I was, say, downtown, in the middle of, downtown, this would definitely give me away. But I rarely venture down there, and if I have to, it's usually something to do with the VA or something stupid, so I'll just take my chances and plan for something practical. So let's go ahead and get into what's in here. First things first, you want to make sure you have a decent bag with some decent straps. That way you can not have to worry about it ripping or tearing or whatever else, because you're going to be, ideally, this is the type of bag that you will take with you everywhere. Whether you leave it in your vehicle or you bring it into work at the office, it's one of those bags where it will pay dividends if you ever need to use it. So obviously you don't want to skimp out on something. Buy once, cry once. All right, so get you a decent bag. I'm prior military, so I use my day pack. And we'll go ahead and get started into it. Now, obviously I have a bandana tie at the top. I don't want to stuff it in here because I'm probably going to use it for multiple things. Now, you can use this for wrapping around your neck to protect from sunburn, filtering water. There is so many uses for a bandana, it'd be foolish not to have one. So go ahead and get you one. I put mine on the outside because chances are if I need to use it to put around my neck or whatnot, then it's right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the big pocket before I get into the front pocket. Now, as you can tell, I got these nice little orange zip pulls, and they are from Exotac. It is the tinder zip. Basically, if you pull this thing apart, there's tinder inside, so it's basically a little 550 cord that you can start fire with. I like them because it's easy to tell where my zipper is, so that's why I have them. Now, first thing in here, obviously, food. You're gonna need to eat something. Now, I'm in the middle of nowhere, so if I actually have to travel back to my house, it's most likely going to be about a 30-mile trip. Now, I'm pretty good at hiking. I know I'm injured. I got a bad knee, but I'm pretty sure I can still cover about 15 miles a day if I need to. So I'm basically planning on 2-3 days at the most. I have an MRE, big one. This is just one piece. If I'm traveling super far, I always have something in my car, but I think I'll be okay with this, but I wouldn't be opposed to putting something else in here. So this is spaghetti meat sauce, got the crackers, got a few other things in it, so that's some good calories right there. Now, obviously when it comes to food, you also want to have water. I have a canteen and a canteen cup. Now, the best thing about a canteen is it's quiet, you don't have to worry about dinging, but you can't boil anything in there, hence why you have the canteen cup. Both of these can be had at any, your local Army military surplus store for probably a few dollars, no big deal. So that's why I have them. I'm not going to go buy one of those steel wall containers because I'm not planning on boiling water in there when I have this. So go ahead and grab you one of them. Now keep in mind, you want to make sure when you're packing this, you leave all the stuff you're probably going to grab first on top. So obviously the food and water, pretty basic, so that's why I keep it on top. Now, another thing, these are Bob's butt wipes. I don't remember where I picked these up. I think I picked these up from Academy or something when they were on clearance. But they are basically clean wipes, baby wipes. You're obviously going to have to do some business. Boom. It'll also help if you have some hot spots. Say if you're hiking too long, you get really, really sweaty. You don't want to leave that sweat, say, in your armpits or in between your thighs, or some butt rub or whatnot. So boom, go ahead and get you some of those. Trust me, these are well worth it. I hardly use toilet paper anymore. I always use this. Or not necessarily this brand, but baby wipes of some sort. All right, shamag, same principle as a bandana. It's just bigger. Now, if you're in a situation where you have a fire or there's ash coming down, you're gonna be glad you have this because it'll be able to filter out some of that air, but it's also a lot bigger to protect you from the sun. So 2 is one, 1 is none. Obviously you want to have a backup for everything in here, and you'll see I have my backups. Now, my EDC, I have a Benchmade emissary knife. So my backup knife is going to be obviously a fixed blade, and this is, oh, so I got the tag on it, a Mora Companion. Now, I've had this thing for a little while. It's been in the bag. I hardly ever touch it. I don't even think I've actually used this knife, but I've used my other Moras, and I love them because they're cheap, like $14 cheap. I'll go ahead and put something down, the link below. If you don't have a Mora, if you've never heard about a Mora, get you one. They are awesome. They are Swedish carbon steel. They're unfinished on the edge and all kinds of stuff. That's why they're so cheap. So they come in these nice little handy dandy crappy plastic sheaths, but it holds everything and you're good to go. So fixed blade for sure. Now you're also going to want to get you some sort of fire starter. Now I have some more fire starter in here, but this is Instafire. I think I got this in like a battle box or something. I would never actually buy something like this because this is just like sticks from outside. I can easily put in a Ziploc bag, but hey, I got it for free, or not free, but I paid it in a bag. I didn't really want it, but I'm going to use it, so I tossed it in here. And let's see, I have a tarp. Very important. Now, you can use a poncho, especially a military grade poncho. You want to be careful though what color you choose. You don't want to use one of them yellow ponchos because everybody's going to see you walking like a highlighter through the woods. So to avoid looking like a highlighter, I got me a nice brown and green on the inside, so I can basically blend in if I ever need to put up shelter for the night. So that's basically what my plan was. This is an 8x12. It's a smaller, but it's a medium duty. If I picked it because it's lighter than a canvas. I'd prefer a canvas, but I'm also going to look into getting a bivvy and all kinds of stuff, and I might, you know, trade this for the bivvy, especially if it's a waterproof bivvy, because I won't need it. But I like the idea of having this just in case, because odds are if I ever need to do a get home situation, it's probably going to be raining, because when it rains it pours, right? So prepare for the worst. Now, got me an SOG, SOG, whatever you want to call it, E-tool. This one's not too bad, it's not crappy, but never hurts having an E-tool. Never know when you're going to need to dig out of something, have a situation, whatever. You'll be happy you had this. So, cat's talking. If you hear him, it's just him. There he is. He's a chatterbox. So, E-tool. That's going to get very distracting. Hold on. Alright, sorry about that. Cat was getting a little distracting with all that meowing. Now, to go with the E-tool, I mean, this came in a little kit. I think I got it for like $30, but it's the Sog saw. You still see the cats over there. They found something. Whatever. But you get you a Sog handsaw. I'd much rather have a handsaw versus a hatchet because it's a little bit lighter and it's a little bit easier to pack away. Now, if I was planning on staying out for weeks at a time, I'd obviously get a hatchet because I think a hatchet's a little bit more realistic in terms of, you know, kindling and all that fun stuff. But, you know, to put a small shelter, a saw will be just fine. This will be able to cut something small enough like a sapling to where I can make a nice roof line so I can put my tarp on it. And I'll stick with this. So I like these. So, little handsaw. And the last thing I have in my main pack is a change of clothes. You don't want to be sitting out here without no damn change of clothes. So go ahead and go and roll up a piece, you know, get you some pants, some spare pants. These are Carhartt pants. I like Carhartts. Shirt, some underwear, and some wool socks. Just in case you do happen to get wet, you got something dry. Because we don't want to be in that situation where it's raining, you just got your shelter up, and you are soaking wet, and it's 40 degrees outside. That is the situation no one wants to be in, and to avoid that, you have a change of clothes, so you don't have to worry about freezing your balls off. So, that's all in my main pouch. I'm gonna go ahead and toss this back in here. That way it gives me a little bit of rigidity. Okay. Now, my front pouch. I have a trauma dressing, just in case. You also make sure you have medical, and if I'm on a get home situation, there might be a situation where I need to use this. So, definitely have that, and that's right up front just in case I need it. Now, in the same form of with my spare clothes, I have me a nice toboggan, beanie, whatever you want to call it. Some keep my head warm, just in case. And inside it, I stashed away 2 things. A small little first aid kit. This is one of those one-person adventure medical ones. Nothing super amazing. It's got a whistle inside, some antiseptic wipes, some bandages, some gauze. Small little things. Like I said, it's a get-home-bag, it ain't a bug-out bag. Something's better than nothing, but yeah, this is it. I might actually upgrade or make my own kit, just because I am a big, nerd about some first aid. And compass. Obviously, if you have a get-home bag, cell phone's probably not working if you need it. If you need a get-home bag, you probably can't use your cell phone, so you probably can't use maps. So you want to make sure you have a good lens-sighted compass, one that you can navigate and you know how to navigate. Now, when it comes to land nav, a compass will be amazing, but what will make it even more amazing is having some maps with it. Now I'm going to laminate these. The other ones I found when I was going through this, they are crumpled. So I printed out more and I put them on card stock. But my wife's got a laminator, so she's going to laminate them tonight. I'm going to put them right in the back with my tarp, so that way I can avoid all the situation. But they're topographical maps. I'm prior military, so I know how to read this kind of thing. If you don't, I can do a map course or a map reading guide. But I'm sure there's probably some channels out there that's all they do is maps, and you might learn a lot more from them than me. So I'm going to go ahead and put that one off to the side. Now, obviously, if you've watched my past videos, you know I'm a huge fan of chem lights. Put them in everything. I mean, you can never go wrong with having chem lights. They're battery-free light. Use them. They expire, but guess what? I've used one, if you see my previous video, where I've used one after it's been expired for several years and it still works just fine. So get you some chem lights. They're inexpensive and they're awesome. Put them everywhere. Now, fire. This is obviously in the front because fire is very important. I have Vaseline soaked cotton balls. They are a great fire starter. Now, it'll go along well with these to go ahead and get something started actually so much faster, but these are the 2. Now in my EDC, you notice I always carry a lighter. However, you don't want to just carry one thing. I'm not going to sit there and hope that my lighter works. Something I may have gotten wet, it might not work, who knows. So I have backups. This is an Uberleben striker. It's one of the big Mac Daddy ones. It is awesome. Love this thing. So I think my neighbor's home. But I love this thing. It throws out some amazing sparks and absolutely great kit. It's one of those things where I wanted to get a quality one. I asked my wife to go ahead and pull me one of these. I think she got it off Amazon. I'll go ahead and link it below. But I've used this thing so many times and it's barely even moved. I mean, this thing's got so much meat on it to use for, still. So this is great. This thing, lights up dry lint really quickly, and it lights up these, Vaseline soaked cotton balls very quickly. So by all means, especially if it's raining. And spare magazines just in case. Spare batteries just in case. I've apparently opened these because I have a spare light. Now you notice I always carry my EDC is my pen light. Well, guess what? Pen light might fail, batteries might die, got a backup. The good thing about these is they flash. They're Energizer. I got these for like nothing. Probably like, I think I got a pack of 3 for like $14. It's absolutely ridiculous how cheap it was. And they are great. I've had them for a long time. Buttons work great. They don't accidentally turn on inside the bag. Perfect backup to my Streamlight. So I tossed it in here. And finally, I have some black trash bags. If you're going to be sleeping in the woods, you don't want to be sleeping on cold, damp, wet ground. You want to be able to bag up some leaves and sleep on something soft and warm, because you got to build that buffer between the ground and you. Because if it's March or February, or I'm in a warmer climate. If you're especially you're up north with all that frozen ground, you're going to get cold. You're going to lose all that body heat by conductivity to the ground, or conduction, or whatever. So you want to make sure that you have some sort of buffer, and what's better than bagging up some leaves and putting them in a trash bag. Not to mention, the good thing about this trash bag is if I am in this city and I have to walk around with this will make it more gray man, because I can just pretend I'm carrying trash. So it's a twofer, it's a win-win. But inside here I put a live straw, because I got to back up for my water. And because of the situation I'm in, the location I am, rural South Carolina, there are creeks everywhere. Creeks, fishing ponds, stock ponds, something. There's going to be water. I don't care how dry things get. There's going to be water around here because it's just the area that I'm in. So having a live straw will pay dividends if this runs out. So live straw. And I think I got one more thing in here. Yep. My last and final thing, you're going to laugh. Alcohol. Now, this is just one mini bottle. This is going to be good for, this is a whiskey, and it's a 80 proof. Now, when it comes to sterilization, 80 proof is better than nothing. I wouldn't just, sterilize gunshots with whatever, I mean, but hey, this will work for multiple, reasons. First off, if you have to sterilize some sort of medical equipment, say you got to stitch yourself up or whatever, then boom. But I don't have any stitch material in here, so that's not what my whole aim was for. My aim is for if I am in the woods in the middle of the night and I'm actually having to use my GetHomeBag, I'm probably going to need something to calm my nerves. So boom. And if you're feeling a little bit cold, if it's a little bit chilly, something to make you not feel so cold. So I'm sure everybody has access to, if you're over 21 obviously, you have access to a mini bottle, toss one in your bag. It might pay off. Now that brings me to my final, and this is something I don't throw in the bag. I put this on the bag very rarely because I really don't like having it on the outside. I will carry it, I'll put it in the truck just in case I need it, but if it's a December, January, something really cold, I might roll this bad boy up and put it on these little outside straps. Now, this is a wool blanket. One of them itchy wool blankets, the blends from the military. The best thing about these is they work when wet. So if it is raining, you can toss this bad boy over you and still stay warm. That's the best part about wool. That's why we've been using wool for hundreds and hundreds of years. Cotton was always something for undergarments and small stuff and whatever. You wanted to keep warm, you used wool. So I keep this with me in the truck when it's cold outside. When it stops being cold, I'll toss it inside the house. Just remember, you want to remember the rule of threes. When you have a GetHomeBag, meaning 3 minutes without air, 3 minutes or 3 days without water, 3 hours without shelter, because you will die if it's below 40 and it's raining. You'll lose body heat, you will get hypothermia, and you can die. And 3 weeks without food. So obviously on that rule of threes, food is not the most important, but water and shelter are. So I wanted to make sure with my bag I doubled up, sometimes even tripled up, just to make sure that I have a plan in case something fails. Always plan for failure. Always plan, like I said, 2 is 1, 1 is none. Something will break, pretend like it does break. Now, another thing you need to do is you need to practice. If you are going to be doing fire starting, don't be out needing to learn how to start a fire and never practice this before. So it's actually pretty fun. Take a Saturday or whatever day you're not working, go outside, get you some tinder, make some tinder, and figure out how to light it. Boom, perfect. Have a little fun game. If you got kids, let them go out there. They'll try it too. It'll be a blast. So with that being said, I hope you liked my video. If you did, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't subscribed, and share this video with anyone who may or may not need to know this information. With that being said, I will catch y'all later, okay? Bye.